Welcome, brothers and sisters, to Morning Heart Devotion. And to start, we'd like to offer greetings to our Heavenly Parent and true parents. 천징 참프님께 겸배 바로. And to lead us in the family pledge, I'd like to invite up Reverend Milhan Stevens.
가정맹세 1. 천여국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본향 땅을 찾아 본연의 창조의 상인 지상 천국과 천상 천국을 창건할 것을 맹세하나이다. 2. 천여국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님을 모시어 천주의 대표적 가정이 되며 중심적 가정이 되어 가정에서는 효자, 국가에서는 중심, 세계에서는 성인, 천주에서는 성자의 가정의 도리를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 3. 천여국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 4대 심정권과 3대 왕권과皇族권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 4. 천여국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 창조의 상인 천주대 가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 5. 천여국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 매일 주체적 천상세계와 대상적 지상세계의 통일을 향해 전진적 발전을 촉진화할 것을 맹세하나이다. 6. 천여국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참부모님의 대신 가정으로서 천운을 움직이는 가정이 되어 하늘의 축복을 주변에 연결시키는 가정을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 7. 천여국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본연의 혈통과 연결된 위하는 생활을 통하여 심정문화 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 8. 천여국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 천여국 시대를 맞이하여 절대 신앙, 절대 사랑, 절대 복종으로 신인의 일체 이상을 이루어 지상 천국과 천상 천국의 해방권과 석방권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Thank you, Reverend Milhan. And to open us up in prayer, I'd like to invite up Mrs. Irmgard Baines. So Mrs. Baines, if you can please unmute and offer your prayer.
Yes. Good morning. Morning, everyone. And please join me in prayer. Dear Heavenly Parent and our dear true parents, good morning. And we greet you together as brothers and sisters on this Saturday, a new day where we can experience your love and pass on your love. Dear Heavenly Parent, I think I can speak for everybody that we are so grateful that we know you and that we know the purpose of our life, and we know why you created this beautiful world and us. You created us to become your individual embodiment, to resemble you. I heard this sentence that God created us to resemble you because God is in our DNA. Yes, because we have you in every cell of our body and also mainly in our heart. We can respond to you, to your truth and to your spirit. With truth and spirit, you restore us. And throughout human history, you restored us. Unfortunately, we are so slow in responding because we fell into ignorance. Our first human ancestor made a huge mistake. They didn't realize by listening to your word, they would have found such happiness and fulfillment. And you had such hope that the earth you created for us would be filled with families where there will be joy and love and happiness, prosperity for everybody, not the way it is now. And I know that you still have this hope in you, and you found through history central figures, people who responded with their whole heart. And now we are at this turning point where we actually starting already a new history with our true parents. And we are so grateful to them. And we learned so much from them that opened our eyes. I know now that I'm your daughter. And I know that my life doesn't end with my physical life. I know that this physical life is here to prepare myself for eternity, to become this person you intended to be. And I'm so grateful that you allowed me to respond to you, and that you gave me my husband, and I'm his wife. And together in our family, we can overcome everything, because love is stronger than any difficulty. Dear Heavenly Parent, we learn from our true Father that when we come in front of you to reveal our shortcomings, to be aware what we have to learn and to surrender. And we hear from Dr. Yong almost every morning that we shouldn't affirm ourselves. That we want to become empty, like a lump of clay, that you can form us. And being in interaction with people, relationships, are so important in helping us that way. And living for the other person. That the subject always should be concerned about the object. And that's what we're learning every day. Thank you for being patient with us, because you know that we have shortcomings, and often in my case, in the evening I'm tired and I let myself go. And yesterday we had heard so many truths and good tips we can hold on to overcome our bad habits. And our true Father said that we should think how you felt when you saw Adam and Eve falling away from your word and the misery they fell into. We are on the way to become closer and closer to your heart. And we welcome this new day, Saturday, and we are grateful to Dr. Yong for encouraging us again through morning devotion. And we are grateful for our brothers and sisters.
Thank you,
that we can meet each other, express our gratitude, hear living testimonies.
Yes.
And we want to react and be obedient to you. So when we feel, oh, we should do this or that, then we want to act on it. Just like our sister Kayo did, traveling all the way from Texas to Minnesota. That's what we want to do and be, and shine and express your love to each other and to our neighbors and to whoever we need. I offer this prayer humbly in my name, Irmgard Baines, the Baines Blessed Central Family, Archo.
아주 thank you so much, 임God. Wow, today your prayer is so beautiful, very, very beautiful. Thank you so much, Baines, Mrs. Baines.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Baines, for opening us up with such a beautiful prayer. And brothers and sisters, now we'd like to take this time to go into our breakouts to be able to share our gratitude and appreciation points. And so if you're prompted to join a breakout, please click join. And if you're unable to at this time, please write down your gratitude points. So let us go into our breakouts. And welcome back, brothers and sisters. I hope you had a wonderful time sharing your gratitude and appreciation with one another. And to share with the whole community first, I'd like to invite up Mr. Sumio Tamura. So Sumio-san, if you can please unmute and share.
Good morning. Yes. Yeah, I say about going to Las Vegas, champion. Just one day. Attending. Liberate my bad street. And yeah. Anyhow, yeah, I'm really grateful to go there with my wife. Already my first son is there, and I can meet him, and also maybe yeah, his fiance and her parents. We will have a dinner together. Yeah. Anyhow, I'm very grateful to go there. Yeah, and champion is really precious for me and my whole family, because I can connect with our true mother and also spirit world. Yeah. So I recently talked with my wife. Maybe I would like to go about once a month because Las Vegas is very close from my place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Thank
yeah,
you.
anyhow, that's my appreciation this morning. Thank you so much.
Sumio Tamura-san, wow, very good. And join together with your wife. But one thing we need to know that, earthly world is really, we are the one who have to be a subject, and then spiritual world help us. As long as I change, evil spirit just gone away. You need to know that. If we change, and automatically the background of the ancestors and all the evil spirit completely change. I always need to focus on my own spiritual growth. As much as I get rid of my fallen nature, evil spirit is gone away. It's up to me, That's why I think you need to know that I am the one who's subject to change. Then spiritual world cooperate with me and help us. Thank you, Sumio Tamura-sama.
감사합니다.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sumio-san. Yes, for sharing your gratitude point. And to share next, I'd like to invite up Mrs. Yoko Becker. So Yoko-san, if you can please unmute and share. Yoko-san, are you able to unmute?
Yes, sorry. Sorry.
Hi, Yoko-sama.
Good morning, Dr. Yan and everybody. Yeah, to find Yasu in my screen, I least expect. So anyway, yesterday's Goribo, I found that True Father took 9 months after he built the cardboard church in Busan to find first a spiritual child appear. Then kind of similar thing happened to me recently after doing the campus witnessing for 9 months since last May. Finally found that somebody I've been looking for. The interesting thing is I had a hard time to have a longing heart to that someone I've been looking for and never met before. But that very morning I met him, I had for the first time, I was able to, cry for that the person I never met before, with a longing heart.
Wow.
So maybe that's why I was able to meet
Beautiful.
him. Yeah, thank you so much.
Wow, that is really beautiful. Wow. That's why longing heart always rich, and then become reality. That is really amazing. Yoko-san, you have such a beautiful experience. Now I have some expectation. You can break through your witnessing. Thank you. Also, I could not see your husband, Mr. Becker. What's going on with him?
I'm sorry.
right.
Not
Okay.
today.
Thank you, Yoko. 감사합니다.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yoko-san. Yeah, for sharing. And that's really exciting to look forward to for your spiritual child. And thank you all, brothers and sisters, for sharing your gratitude and appreciation. But now let us prepare our hearts and our minds to well receive our internal guidance for this morning from our regional president of the United States, Dr. Chonshik Yong. Welcome, Dr. Yong.
안녕하세요. Good morning, my dear brothers and sisters, clergy and ambassador for peace. 안녕하십니까? Yesterday, I had a breakfast meeting with 5 members in my room. This couple is Michael and White Route. And this couple is Mitchell and Misayo PN. Beautiful couple. So excited to see them. And he's William. He's a champion of the serving for others. In the evening, I have a meeting with Passaic County members and New Jersey Family Church. It was a very beautiful meeting. It was a good photo. Today, I'd like to talk about the paths of life for all humankind from True Mother's Anthology, Volume 2. Let's study.
The path of life for all humankind. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am deeply grateful that you have taken the time from your busy schedules to help make today's gathering such a success. Our theme for today is the path of life for all humankind. Today, the world is lost in great confusion and cries out in agony. We face endless conflict as individuals, in our families, in our nations, and in the world. As individuals, we are confronted with inner turmoil between our mind and body. Families are affected by the moral decadence of young people and the breakdown of family-centered traditions. Historical rivalries lead to distrust and even war among our nations, fanning the embers of uncertainty and hopelessness in the world. The solution to all these problems lies in developing an ideal love relationship with God. Throughout history, humankind has sought to answer the basic question, why are we born? Some have concluded that they were born for the sake of their country. Others have decided that they were born for the sake of their parents. Still others believe they were born for their own sake. People of faith believe they are born for the sake of God. Yet, it is not enough to say that God created the universe for the sole benefit of human beings, or even for God's own benefit. The creation of humankind involved the cooperation of many beings and elements. Although each had its own inherent purpose, they worked together to initiate the creative process. God's purpose in creating, the angel's purpose in assisting, nature's purpose in providing the materials, and even the human purpose for being created are all consistent. There is a common purpose that is pleasing to God, to the angels, to the rest of creation, and to human beings themselves. This shared purpose is something that, the longer it is possessed, the greater the happiness and joy it provides. It is something that, once we possess it, we would never let it go. It cannot be external in nature. It is something internal and invisible. Things like knowledge, money, and power are merely collateral conditions that are needed in people's lives. We are not born into the world for the purpose of possessing them. Such external things may exist in a reciprocal relationship with humankind only temporarily, not eternally. God has no need for money. If Almighty God ever needed money, He could create as much as he desired. Also, we know that God is the root of all knowledge, since he created the universe through certain principles and laws. Furthermore, the Creator is the origin of power, so God has no need to seek power.
Yes. Throughout history, humankind has sought to answer the basic question, why are we born? There is a common purpose that is pleasing to God, to the angels, to the rest of the creation, to human beings themselves. God does not need money or power of the strength or knowledge. He created all those things anytime. Then what is this common or shared purpose? This is something we cannot reach with God's power alone or any human effort. Looking from this perspective, the shared purpose can only be true love. It must be something that can move the motivation or course of my life, even to the end of that life. That can only be true love. My brothers and sisters, the common denominator that can be liked by God, human beings, all things, the spiritual world, heaven and earth is what? Is what? True love. Therefore, all beings, including God, need true love. All thoughts and actions outside of this true love are a waste of time and have no meaning. Therefore, eternal life is possible only when I was born for love, live for love, and die for love. Wow, this is really amazing discovery. I was born for true love. God does exist for the sake of the true love. The all things does exist for the sake of the true love. Everything does exist for the sake of the true love. That's why I need to live for the sake of the true love. I was born for true love. I live for true love. I can die for the sake of the true love. This is the common purpose, my brothers and sisters. Not money, not power, not knowledge. We need to know that this is really basic matter. This is really, really crucial. That's why I need to do everything centering on true love. Otherwise, not centering on true love, I do something, just waste my time. Waste my time. Then God is all-knowing and almighty and can possess and create everything. But there's one thing that even God needs. That is what? True love. However, this true love cannot be felt alone. So it definitely needs an object partner. That's the reason God created human beings. He created human being for the realization of true love. Even for a human being to realize true love, it would be impossible without the subject partner God. The great principle of true love is that it only comes from counterpart, from the object partner. Because of that, if you do not live for the sake of the other person, you cannot experience true love. This is where the logic that we must live for the sake of others comes from. Very, very powerful content. Living divine principle. Today is a new chapter. The meaning of the freedom from the viewpoint of the principle. I think you know very well, but let's see how further does he explain about that. Freedom and the human form. Okay, let's start.
The meaning of freedom from the viewpoint of the principle. What is the meaning of true freedom? In light of the principle, 3 characteristics of freedom stand out. First, there is no freedom outside the principle. Freedom requires both free will and the free actions pursuant to that will. Free will and free actions have the relationship of internal nature and external form, and perfect freedom is achieved when they are in harmony. Therefore, there cannot be any free action without free will, nor can free will be complete without free actions to accompany it. Free actions are generated by free will, and free will is an expression of the mind. The mind of an original sinless person cannot operate outside of God's words, that is, the principle. It will never express free will or generate free action apart from the principle. Undoubtedly, the freedom of a true person never deviates from the principle.
Okay. Heavenly Honey, and continue.
The freedom never deviates from the principle. 1. When your action deviates from the principle, you experience the pangs of conscience right away. The freedom exists within the principle and God's words. 2. The freedom within the principle, permission, is the real freedom. The mind of an original sinless person cannot operate outside of God's words, that is, the principle. The freedom never deviates from the principle. 3. You have to fulfill responsibilities with the freedom that you feel within God's words. That is the freedom of the original nature.
Yes. Can people feel the freedom when they commit a murder or robbery and telling a lie? When your action deviates from the principle, you feel anxiety, right? And fear rather than freedom. So even Bible mentioned John chapter 8 verse 32. You will know the truth that you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Therefore, we are free only in the truth, true love, and God. And also talking about here, John chapter 8, verse 34, Jesus replied, I tell you for the certain that anyone who sins is a slave of sin. Therefore, where there is a sin, there is no freedom. There is only pain and remorse of conscience. That once you commit the sin and possessed by evil spirit, Satan control everything, cannot feel any freedom. We need to know that what is the real meaning of the freedom. Okay, continue.
There is no freedom without responsibility. Human beings, created according to the principle, can reach perfection only by fulfilling their responsibility based on their free will. Accordingly, a person pursuing the purpose of creation as prompted by his free will ceaselessly strives to carry out his portion of responsibility. There is no freedom without responsibility.
Yeah. Okay, continue.
There is no freedom without responsibility. The purpose of giving the freedom is to complete responsibilities. Therefore, talking about the freedom presupposes the existence of the responsibility. You have to make effort with the freedom voluntarily and complete your responsibility. Since my completion is established by fulfilling my portion of responsibility with the freedom, there is no freedom without responsibility. Accordingly, where there is the freedom, there must be the responsibility. And where there is the responsibility, there must be the freedom. Human beings cannot fulfill their portions of responsibilities by force.
Yeah. For example, driving is free, right? However, if you drive too fast, you will get into an accident, right? If you drive safely, you can run without an accident. Whether I drive well or not is my portion of responsibility, my brothers and sisters. So why God giving us, freedom? I do want to explain from next slide. Okay, continue.
There is no freedom without responsibility. Therefore, Adam and Eve must complete by fulfilling their responsibilities by the free will. The purpose that God gave us the freedom is to reach perfection through responsibilities.
The purpose that God gave us the freedom to reach perfection through responsibility. To complete our portion of responsibility, God gave us about the freedom, right? Cannot be done by force. We are not kind of the robot. Continue.
The responsibility without the freedom is the coercion, because you cannot stand in the position that you did everything by yourself. You cannot be the owner. There is no freedom without accomplishment. When human beings exercise freedom and carry out their responsibility, they strive to accomplish results which complete the purpose of creation and bring joy to God. Free will ceaselessly pursues concrete results through free actions. There is no freedom without accomplishment. The purpose of giving the freedom is to complete responsibilities. The result, accomplished by force, cannot bring about the perfect happiness.
Wow. The purpose of giving freedom is what? Complete responsibility. In order to bring what? In order to bring the result of the happiness. In order to realize true love. That's why God gave us this kind of freedom.
When you fulfill responsibilities voluntarily through freedom given to you, you can return results which make God happy. Free will ceaselessly requires results of happiness.
Yeah, this one we need to know that free will ceaselessly require result of happiness. Why God gave us the freedom? In order to fulfill our portion of responsibility. What's our portion of responsibility? Create happiness and joy. And also need to realize need to substantialize true love. And then?
The purpose that freedom was given to me is to create happiness.
Yeah, the purpose of that freedom was given to me is to create happiness, centering on God, centering on principle, not centering on your own sake. Father's word.
Order and law have to be observed in the free world. What is the motivation of the fall? The appearance of individualism is the starting point of the fall. Don't you think so? The appearance of individualism is the starting point of the fall. It is not a matter of the world. The next is that having the unrestrained foundation is the cause of the fall. What does the God's word, do not eat, mean? If there is no law in this world, it would be easy. However, why do we need laws or regulations? Why don't we live as we like? Is it the freedom to live as we like? That is not true. As people feel free, they have to keep the order and the rules. As a machine is precise, it moves vertically and horizontally along the track of laws by the principle and the order. When we follow such principles, results of free actions come forth. From the perspective of the scientific civilization and the social system in the present day, this is an undeniable fact.
Yes. What is the motivation of the fall? First, it started from individualism, which only thinks of the oneself. Second, it is deciding and acting according to one's own will under the guise of freedom. As people feel free, the more they have to keep the order and the rules within the principle. Adam and Eve did not know that. They have true freedom within the principle. Children have true freedom and joy within the love and relationship of their parents. Even between husband and wife, there's a true freedom within the way and principle of conjugal love. It is the same between siblings as well as in loving your neighbors. And today's youth ministry, I am who I am because of the will. Let's study.
People who are devoted to the smallest of things can be devoted to everything. Whatever you do, if you set a certain standard that you value with some kind of motivation, the standard of your entire life will be upgraded. So, if there is something you were spiritually moved by or received grace from through the word, you must strive to hold on to that and go out preserving it. If you set an absolute standard for even one thing, and that does not change no matter what kind of environment you are in, you will bring change to your entire life. Being devoted to the smallest of things is like setting a standard of being able to be devoted to everything. Therefore, no matter how difficult and painful your reality is, you must deal with it righteously while fighting your fallen nature. The God of goodness will surely give strength to the person who tries to live a life of goodness by fighting unrighteousness and their fallen nature. God will fight on your behalf. You will experience God working together with you, and you will feel that God is really your God. Only then can you feel and experience God's heart.
I think this is a very, very important guidance. Please, my brothers and sisters, take it very seriously. How can we keep our spirit healthy while upgrading our life to be enriching? That is to have a certain standard that keeps at least one thing unchanged throughout one's day to day life. Then you should gradually expand that. If you cannot do that, then you must go one setting such a standard for even one thing. For example, if you write a gratitude journal every day, do not become the fickle, but do it until the day you die. You need to have that kind of determination. Then go on expanding to different things one by one. Whether that's attending morning devotion every day without missing a single day, or praying at least 30 minutes each day, or doing 훈독회 1 hour or 3 hours, whatever, doing 훈독회 every day. Set up that kind of standard. Or doing one act of service for others each day, or witnessing every day, and so on. Or it can also be observing Sunday service every week, no matter what happened, or offering tithing each month, or writing and down the word that touched you so far in a notebook and meditating on them one by one every day. If you keep this kind of standard for at least for 6 months, my brothers and sisters, without being fickle, no matter what the situation, it becomes a great habit. Then, if you practice this for more than 30 years, you will be able to keep that standard until you die. Then, your entire life will be upgraded, enrichingly, both spiritually and artistically. For my own case, okay? I'm not saying about this my proud. Just telling you the truth. I wake up at 3 a.m. every day, no matter what happens. Wake up 3 a.m. every day and offer prayer and prepare the word I will give. Every day, no matter what. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and 4 years. Keep that kind of the standard whenever you set up some certain standard. And also, I'm exercising every day. Of course, when I travel here and there, I can't do that. But almost every day, no matter what, even though raining and snowing and even strong wind, does not matter. You cannot do exercise outside, and then I do inside. I also exercise every day, to keep good health, because my body belongs to God. Many things. And then also writing the gratitude diary, Hyojong diary. So really create beautiful life. As long as I write in the Hyojong diary and gratitude, you are always very, very positive. And then any negative thought is disappearing. That's why, my brothers and sisters, if you set on absolute standard for even one thing, start from small thing first, okay? And if you set up absolute standard for even one thing, and that does not change no matter what kind of environment you are in, you will bring change to your entire life. Being devoted to the smallest of the things results in setting the standard of being devoted in all things. Start small one and try 3 months. And then 6 months. Overcoming 6 months is not easy. Overcoming 6 months is much hope. You can do it even 1 year and 2 years and 3 years. Once you practice for 3 years, this habit can go until you die. That's why you need to have a good habit. Conquer everything by good habit. Just so you do small things, at least for 3 years. I am telling you, you can have a life-changing experience. If you have such absolute standard, no matter how difficult and painful your reality is, you will be able to deal with it righteously while fighting your fallen nature. If you search absolute standard, God will see you as righteous. And God will give you infinite strength. So set good condition and standards that God has no choice but to sympathize with and love you. Aju, this is a very important point. But fallen man is so much changeable. Cannot keep promise. Cannot keep such a standard. Even though you have a strong determination, after 3 days, after really 1 month, no more. And then go back again and then repeat same things again and again and again and again. This is a fallen man. Cannot keep even small as a standard. That's why I start from small one. And then become good habit, and you have a confidence. And then gradually you can conquer entire your whole body and upgrade your spiritual life. Very powerful. That's why you need to do something, righteous things. Keep going. Why you give up witnessing on the way? People, no response and no result, and give up on the way. Oh my goodness. Once you determine to do witnessing, keep going, even though no result. Keep going, keep going. That someday God really responds to you. Problem is we cannot keep going. This is the issue. No righteous condition. How can Heavenly Father help us? Why we respect Noah? Once he got a God's commandment, keep 120 years. 120 years. Why we cannot be a righteous person? Because we cannot keep it continuously. Next.
What must we do for it to become a true church service? What is having church service? It is people who long for each other, gathering and exchanging their hearts centered on God. In that case, you must live proudly in your own life. It is sincere devotion when people long for people. So you must be delighted when you meet people. Isn't service brothers and sisters becoming one in front of God and returning joy and glory to God? But if we live in worry and meet each other, would it become a service of joy? For it to become a true service, we must come after living proudly in each of our family and workplace. In trying to live a life of goodness in our own ways, there are times when we normally observe all directions, but unknowingly make mistakes. Although they know that God would worry if they acted like this, people who commit evil deeds will be punished. Making mistakes without knowing cannot be called a sin. That will be realized when one grows a bit more. In that case, they must be educated more. Isn't it shameful to do evil things when people are watching, but try to do them secretly at night?
Yeah. What's the purpose of having Sunday service? It is to experience the kingdom of heaven through having heart exchanges with God, the heart exchanges between members who you longed for, and heart exchange with new members and spiritual children. For Sunday service to be gracious before attending service, each of us have to create grace in our normal life. In other words, we must live a proud life in our own sphere of life. We need to live a life of touching the heart of the others. When you come to church with such a gracious life and proud accomplishment, you will long for people. People must long for people. Sunday service is brothers and sisters becoming one in front of God and returning joy and glory to God. But if we live in worry and meet each other, would it become a service of joy? For it to become a true service, we must come after living proudly in each of our life, in each of our family and workplace. So worship services of the era of the 천일국 is a day when we offer up to the heaven the proud and grateful things in each of our own lives and share them with the brothers and sisters around us on Sundays. Okay, next slide.
I am who I am because of the will. You exist because of the will. You are not people that exist because of others. We must regard this as our life creed and live it thoroughly. We must deal with all things with all our heart and with the attachment that we live for the will. I am a person who exists for the will. I am a person who exists for the wish of our Creator. We should live clearly, establishing such a standard. Wherever we go and whatever we do, we cannot forget this. People who exist for the will must have peace and joy in their hearts. This is so because the way of the will is the way of love. That is why our hearts must always be joyful, and our hearts must be peaceful. But can fallen people always be joyful and peaceful? Even though we are always fighting with our fallen nature, the reason we gain strength in our heart is because we have the attachment to live for the will and the motivation to become God's sons and daughters. We cannot win in the battle between good and evil if we are amidst disappointment and pain, because the condition for evil to invade has already been established. That is why we must have joy and peace, and we can fight with Satan only when we have hope. When you overcome with joy, there are no conditions for Satan to invade. This is because there is a heart which only God can reciprocate with.
Yes. Very important content. Wherever you go and whatever you do, you must sanctify your mind. How to sanctify your mind? Always ask yourself, what am I doing here? What am I doing this for? And then clarify the motivation and meaning. Whatever I do, I need to assume the absolute life credit that I am doing this work for God and God's will. We must deal with all things with all our heart, with all attachment that we work for the God's will and live for the sake of the God's will. I am a person who exists for the sake of the God's will. I am a person who exists for the wish of our Creator. We should live clearly establishing such a standard. Wherever we go and whatever we do, we cannot forget this point. People who exist for the God's will must have peace and joy in their heart, and they can overcome any difficult situation. This is so because the way of the God's will is the way of love. But if you work because of your job and money and yourself, your sense of the mission and drive will disappear. That's why our heart must always be joyful. When we think that we are working for the sake of the God's will, our heart will be joyful and always peaceful. You must always clarify your motivation. When people who work for themselves or money or workplace, anything including the God's will, face unfavorable situation, they easily face disappointment and pain and cannot win in the battle between good and evil. That's why we must joy and peace, and we can fight with Satan only when we have hope. To do that, my sense of the purpose that I live for the sake of the God's will and walk for the sake of the God's will must be clear. Where you overcome with joy, there are no conditions for Satan to invade. This is because there is a heart which only God can reciprocate with. Today, I talk about I am who I am because of the God's will. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Yong, for sharing with us another incredible guidance. And we just want to move over to the living testimony now. And today we're going to be hearing from Reverend Mark Hernandez, who serves as the ACLC Executive Director. And he's going to be sharing today on the grand opening of Subregion 4's Chuncheon 1. So without further ado, Reverend Hernandez, if you can please unmute and share.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Dr.
Oh, Mark Hernandez, you came back finally. I'm so glad. I'm so glad you're recovering now. Thank you so much, our Reverend Hernandez.
Thank you so much, Dr. Yong. And actually, Yasutaka, today, Isaac had asked me either to talk about my recovery, this whole experience that I've gone through, or the opening of the Chuncheon 1. And so I hope to do the Chuncheon 1 at another time. I want to express to everyone on this call, on this platform, those of you who are right now here and those of you who will view this later on, I am so grateful to all of you for your prayers, for your healing thoughts that were sent to me during this time. I really, truly, I've shared with my Dallas community that it was really the power of your prayers, the power of your thoughts coming toward me. I could feel God's love, and I was so encouraged to overcome situations that seemed so dark. I just want to kind of go through what happened was that I've heard this expression about, falling down a rabbit's hole before, but never understood what that really meant. But in January 6th, I was just spending some time with my granddaughter. It was in the evening, and I started coughing. I started coughing really, really bad. so that my whole right side, all the muscles in my right side of my chest seized up. They seized up so much that the pain I started feeling was like unbearable. Eventually, I just couldn't sleep. I couldn't do anything. So in the middle of the night, I went to the hospital, to emergency, and they took X-rays, and they said, "Oh, you've got you've got pneumonia, Mr. Hernandez. It's not very much advanced, but you've got it in your right lung, and that's why you've been coughing." And I said, "Well, it's a dry cough. It's not productive. How can I stop coughing?" Anyway, they dismissed me with very little to cover the pain and nothing to cover the cough. Actually, when I went to my drugstore, the prescription for the cough was, they didn't have that drug there. For 2 days, 3 days, I couldn't sleep, but kept coughing. Finally, on the third day, I went to another emergency room. I called a brother up, Kennedy Kebaso, a wonderful African brother from Kenya. And he had worked at this hospital as a nurse, and he knew how I could get straight through the emergency protocol and be seen by doctors. And I followed that, and he took me there himself to the hospital. And I was so grateful for his support at that time, because I was in utter pain. The pain was so much, brothers and sisters, that it overwhelmed everything else. In my missions, I've been close to death many times and never feared death. But what I faced this time, actually, it's what God has been facing, what true parents have faced, what Jesus faced. And that is the situation, and many humans face it. And that is a pain where pain is it's so looming, it's so dark. That is all that you can feel. And at that hospital, they discovered that I had fractured my ribs from the coughing, from the pneumonia. And they admitted me to the hospital. I remained there for about, from the 8th of January to the 19th. And all during that time, I could feel so much support, so much love coming from this holy community. From my leaders, from my brothers and sisters, from my spiritual parents, from my spiritual children. And because of the COVID situation, even still, I was up in, while I was in the hospital, my condition worsened. I went to ICU for about 3 days, was dismissed from that, and then eventually was released. And then upon my release, I thought, well, great. I mean, they told me, you've got 6 to 8 weeks for recovery. And this whole experience has taught me so much to be empathetic to those who go through long terms of suffering and long terms of recovery. For me, them saying 6 to 8 weeks, that just seems so huge. I wasn't even able to translate it into spiritual terms, how we do a 40-day condition. A 40-day condition is about 40, it's about 6 weeks, because of the level of pain that I've been in. When I was released, I still had a lot of chest pain, every cough, every sneeze. But what happened when I got home was that my legs became swollen, and my feet became swollen, and then the bones in my feet became so painful, as if they'd been fractured. In fact, my primary care physician ordered X-rays of my feet because of the pain level in my ankles and in my the bones that go from the foot, from the base of your foot to your toes, the tarsals and metatarsals. It was as if they'd been crushed by a hammer. I couldn't barely put weight on my feet. And that lasted from the day after my release, the 20th of January, till February 1st. I guess what I'm trying to say is that the emotional toll of this was so strong. It was always a fight from the time I I was coughing and couldn't stop and feeling incredible pain, I kept asking God, what kind of offering are you asking me to make? And how can I make this offering in a way that can please you? How can I make this offering in a way that I don't destroy it, that I don't defile it? Because I want to make this offering to you so that you can use it. Please let me try to keep my attitude so that I can make the offering in a way that you can use it. I don't know what you want to use it for, God.
Wow.
But please, God, I don't want to misstep. I don't want to complain. I don't want to, because I feel like for us as children of true parents, we're not immune from difficulty. We're not immune from these situations of pain and hospitalization or illnesses. We're not immune from them.
My God.
But how can we go through them so that we never separate from God? We never separate from true parents.
Amazing.
And we somehow always allow God to be with us. And so that has really been my learning point through this experience, was how to hold on to God. And I have to admit, I had so much support in that, because I had so much love being given to me. I realized that it's so true that mothers opening this door and going from Family Federation to Heavenly Parents Holy Community is the ultimate step, because what we're building is not just a church. We are building a holy community that is also just so there for one another. I felt it from my local community. I felt it from around the nation. I felt it from even abroad. I had people texting me from Korea saying that they were praying in the Chunshim One for me in Korea. I had young people that I have ministered to for the last 20 years text me, Uncle Mark, we're praying for you. We love you. Kent Trabing and his wife Misayo sent me like a case of Izumio waters to try to help speed my healing and my lungs, the healing in my lungs. I had so many brothers and sisters send me care packages. But brothers and sisters, what blew me away is really the love from Dr. Ki-Hoon Kim and the love from Dr. Chung-Shik Yong. Dr. Young has called me like 2 or 3 times, and as he may not know it, but as soon as I finish those calls, I go to the prayer room, or I just drop my head, and I feel that God is using him to show me the love that God has for me, that true parents have for me. And that has been such a healing thing for me, to know that throughout this process, I have been so loved. The number one champ of all this love, of course, has been my wife. But right now she's in the Chunshim One, because normally I'm leading prayer there at 6 a.m. over the past few days. But she's in the Chunshim One right now with a group of brothers and sisters. But normally I would have her right here, because I really feel through this experience, God and I have brought Yuri and I so much closer. In this process, she had to do things for me that are embarrassing for a man to have his wife do for him. But it was with so much love. I was like her 7th child, and so I'm so grateful for that as well. But I feel like my testimony is a testimony to this holy community that I'm a part of, and I really want to rededicate myself to, first of all, to Heavenly Parent, to true parents on my personal level, and also to rededicate myself to my responsibility with the American Clergy Leadership Conference. So again, I want to thank each and every one of you. I can't name you all. I mean, I had calls from John Dorosky's wife, Nanette, that's my spiritual grandparents, checking on me to see how my recovery was, to so many spiritual children. I had ambassadors for peace, reporting every day by emails about my situation to other ambassadors for peace and clergy. I am such a blessed man. So brothers and sisters, if you're going through something where you Please let me know. I want to pray for you. I want to be able to pray for your situations as I've been prayed for.
Yeah.
And
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I think Mark, the Hernandez, you need to know that why you need to go through, that kind of the sickness all of a sudden. I strongly felt that there is a clear reason. In order to opening the Chunshimon in Texas, this is not simple matter. Not simple matter. You are kind of the major guy, to really helping this, always Chunbo this and that. I think you become kind of like a sacrificial case to paying the indemnity. And through your offering that kind of paying the indemnity, finally, you can have the inauguration ceremony, opening of the Chunshimwon in Texas. That's why, and then after that, incredible blessing come to Texas because of you already offer that kind of condition. And also, I hope that through your offering, and then many blessings come to also our ACNC. Thank you, Mark Hernandez. 감사합니다. I really appreciate for your offering. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Reverend Hernandez, for sharing such a powerful story of resilience and always sticking to God and true parents in these difficult times. And we're so happy to welcome you back and that you look so much better. Thank you so much. And yes, thank you, brothers and sisters. So now we'd like to take a moment to go into our breakouts so that we can share any insights or takeaways from Dr. Yong's guidance and Reverend Hernandez's testimony. So if you're prompted to join a breakout, please click join. And if you're unable to at this time, please write down your reflections. So let us go into our breakouts. Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I hope you had a wonderful time sharing your insights and takeaways with one another. And to share with the whole community first, I'd like to invite up brother Mr. Jan von Zoften. So Mr. Jan, if you can please unmute and share with all of us.
Sure. Good morning, Dr. Yong, and good morning, brothers and sisters. This is Jan in Maryland. Really appreciated this morning the focus on freedom, and that freedom, comes with responsibility. Sometimes I think and have thought that freedom, I can just be free without any responsibility and act accordingly, and to just really recognize that freedom comes with responsibility and understand what it means on a day-to-day basis in my life. So thank you for that point and that reminder. Also really was really good to see Reverend Hernandez and his testimony. And what particularly struck me is, the fact that we go through difficulties and how do we go through those. I had a 34-year course from joining the church to the blessing, and at times I would get really angry. Why is this not working? Why is that not working? And to recognize that I'm not exempt from difficulties. I thought that I should be, because I'm living, quote unquote, a spiritual life. And if I look at God's life, to parents' life and Jesus' life, then how could I expect anything different? So it was kind of delusional thinking. And to just recognize that I'll go through difficulties, but how do I go through them? Can I continue to be grateful and not, blame others, but really focus, what can I do and how can I make this an offering? That's a beautiful point. So thank you.
Me too. Thank you, Yan, for your beautiful sharing. Yeah. When that kind of suffering and painness is coming to me continuously, but you're still grateful or not? How long, how last you can appreciate or not? And the issue, followment not easy. I really appreciate Hernandez, that kind of the really beautiful sharing. Thank you so much, Ian. 감사합니다.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jan, for that wonderful sharing and insight. And due to time, we will be limiting the sharing to just one person, but I really appreciate everybody for taking this time to share your insights and takeaways. And because also we can be able to share even outside of Morning Heart Devotion. And we want brothers and sisters to be able to be touched in their lives with this incredible guidance that Dr. Yong gives every day. So whether it be Facebook, Zoom, or YouTube, don't hesitate to share this link so that more and more brothers and sisters will be inspired. And also we have our transcripts and links to images available on edu.familyfed.org, courtesy of Dr. Kylie. So thank you so much, Dr. Kylie, for preparing it for all of us. And if you can turn your attention towards the chat, then we'll be posting up the link to the donation page, which you'll be able to click and donate joyfully from your heart to keep this Morning Heart Devotion ministry going and supported. And other ways to support is by offering the opening prayer or the musical offering. And in order to do that, you can connect with Tal Zor at TZORER@unification.org. And a final announcement is that today is my final day of my MC rotation. So
well
really
done. Ozawa. Yes, great.
Thank you, Dr. Yong. Thank you for giving me this chance and opportunity to MC. But tomorrow we will have this incredible sister, Miss Rebecca Kalix, who's going to be coming back to MC. So please give her all your support and love. And so we have our musical offering coming up now. And to offer the music, I'd like to invite up Mr. Stephen Gabb. So Mr. Gabb, if you can please unmute and share.
Yes, thank you. Can I share a screen a moment just to introduce it?
Yes.
Hey, Connie and Gab. Connie, today she appear. Why?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Yong. Yeah, I just want to show appreciation for, first of all, of course, our Heavenly Parent, true parents, Jesus, they all were the first witnesses to everything. Even Heavenly Parent had to witness to our Father. So I just want to give a shout out to Dr. Yong, because he was the one who really inspired and helped us to get out to the Philippines and get out witnessing. But also I want to give a shout out to our dear sister, Annalisa Lopez, and I want to dedicate our song to her because she was the one who both we could help support her accomplishment as the first, together with Dr. Leck, as the first HTM to fulfill, but also she helped us to fulfill ours. So it's a shout out to her. She was a really dedicated member for 55 years, just poured her heart out, and didn't put other things as a priority. Her family lived really on the brink of poverty all the time to serve the blessed family. So I just want to give a shout out to her. Also, she was the one who helped us to, anyway, this is her somewhere. I just wanted to share with her somewhere if I can. That was just yesterday. Beautiful somewhere that was there in the Philippines. Her family really supported her, and just so many people came. So just a shout out for her. And also, I want to give a shout out for her helping us develop our community. If you can see that, we have a community in Tamana and also in Tanai. I don't know, can you see that now?
Yeah, we can see.
Yeah, so just want to say this dedication is really for them. And thank you to her for all her help and support. And thank you, Dr. Yong, for inspiring us. So this is dedicated to her, to you. Thank you. Oh, my brethren, can't you hear me say, the Lord will love you forever and a day? Oh, my brethren, can't you hear me say, the Lord, He is one? Oh, can't you hear it, brother? And won't you come along to build the heavenly kingdom and sing a brand new song? Call everybody, try to understand. We've got to start working, the time is at hand. Call everybody, try to understand. The day is come, the day is come. Oh, can't you hear it, sister? And won't you come along to build the heavenly kingdom and sing a brand new song? Lo, on Mount Zion, the Son of Man appears to rule the house of Jacob for 10,000 years. Lo, on Mount Zion, the Son of Man appears and cries, it is done. Oh, can't you hear it, brother? And won't you come along to build the heavenly kingdom and sing a brand new song? All bound together, nobody can fall, loving each other, loving one and all. All bound together, nobody can fall. Our race is one. Our race is one. Our race is one.
Okay, Connie, thank you. Beautiful offering. Yeah, I think Lopez, she will be very happy to hear your offering song. 감사합니다. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gav, for that sincere offering for your tribe and also to all of us. We really appreciate it. All right, brothers and sisters, and to close out this incredible morning heart devotion experience in prayer, I'd like to invite up Mr. Dohee Ong. So, Mr. Ong, if you can please unmute and offer your prayer.
Okay, please join me in prayer. Dear most beloved Heavenly Parent, Father, we thank you so much for this brand new day that you've given us, Father, and this blessing that we can really wake up and start the day with you, Father, and attention to you, Father. And we're reminded this morning once again from Dr. Yong, our older brother, about who we are, Father, in this world, Father, that we are your children, and to create a longing heart, Father, for you, and to relieve your pain, Father, to relieve the difficulty that you've experienced throughout human history. Father, I pray that we can really go forth in this day, Father, and do our best to really listen and open our minds, Father, to all the things around us, to all the people around us, Father, as you showed us through the testimony of Mark Hernandez, Father, that there can be great depth of pain, Father, in people, and great difficulty in life. I pray we can really do our best, Father, to be attuned to that, Father, to listen to that, and that we can really do our best, Father, to help others, to love others, Father, in our daily life. Father, that we can really become the same blessing that he received, Father, through our brothers and sisters, the miracle of our brothers and sisters, Father, who love us, Father, so deeply and so greatly, Father. I really am so grateful, Father, for our community. Father, once again, we ask that you be with each one of us today, that we can continue our personal and public missions to alleviate your pain. I'm grateful once again. I pray you report these things in the name of Dohi and Jinnyang, a blessed central family. Aju.
Wow, thank you, 도희앙. 감사합니다. Jinny's husband, 셰셰니. Thank you. 감사합니다.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ong, for closing us out with that wonderful prayer. And with that, brothers and sisters, I just want to appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for joining and making this morning heart devotion experience wonderful. And Dr. Yong, we love you. Thank you so much for always pouring out your heart and preparing your messages, and we really receive it well. And with that, I'd like to wish you.
Well done, Yojab. Thank you. Have a nice Saturday, my brothers and sisters.